Hello and welcome to another installment of making stuff in Corona SDK with me, Dwight. Today I'm going to show you guys how to create like a D-pad or something. Well, a D-pad actually. In this case, as you can see, mainly a D-pad is like arrow directions for our main character. In this case, we just did it as an image of myself here. So as you can see, every time you press on a D-pad button, it'll move you into a certain direction. So now that we know what that is, let's go to the code real quick. Okay, here's the code and everything. I'm not just going to let you away with that, I'm going to explain it a little bit. This up here is going to hide our status bar, which basically on your mobile device would tell you your reception, your battery, any little notifications that you would get on your phone. Right here, in most games, people use this right here to hide the status bar so you don't have it interrupting the game. Now right here, we inserted a new image, and this one is our background PNG, or image. And what that is just this gray background. Here, this is the me picture, and we named it me, that way it was easy to understand and everything, and then we gave it a starting XY coordinates. In this case we put it at 240 by 160. So when we start it every single time, it'll show up in the same location every single time. Alright, now we're moving down to our arrows. Right here we put in an up arrow, a down arrow, a left arrow, and a right arrow. And all we did was basically the concept of buttons. We just insert an image that looked like an arrow, put it at a position on the screen, and then we just created them into buttons. But instead of just having them create something, we had them hooked up to motion. So right here is your motion X coordinate starting, and here's your motion Y coordinate starting, and then there's your speed. The local speed equals 10 is going to be a constant speed, so every time you press the button, it's going to go to 10. So right here is a function, and it's saying if event phase ended, then motion X and motion Y, keyword here, will return back to 0. Then you have an event listener to tell or to listen for you touching or stop touching the D-pad. Alright, then here's another function right here which is telling it to move. So in this case we're saying me.x equals me.x plus motion x. Same thing here except for y coordinates. Then you also got a runtime event listener. That way it's listening for to move the page. Now this is where your moving and everything is. For each one of these you're going to put them in their own individual function, and you're going to give them their own event listener so it knows what to listen for. Here it's saying that on touch or whatever on each button, so up button on touch, it's going to leave the X coordinate alone, and it's going to minus its coordinates on the motion Y. Why would it be minus? Because up is negative and down is positive. Same for, or kind of for the x-axis too. Its left is negative and right is positive. So for up, we're going to have it at negative speed. That way it will go up. And then for down, we're going to have it at just regular speed, so it'll go down. Left, negative speed for X, that way it goes to the left. And then right, you're going to have it as positive speed, is that way on the X, so it will go to the right. Now right here, this you don't really need or anything, but it's good to have. This whole thing right here is kind of good to have, but you don't really need. Without it, you could just press the button and the whole thing would just scroll across the screen at its own free will and keep going and going and going and going and going, and you wouldn't be able to see it anymore eventually. But this right here is a function wrap. What this does is it takes the image and it's saying if your x coordinate or your y coordinate equals a certain point, or is less than a certain point, or greater than a certain point, then it's going to reset it to its limit point. That way it can't move, or you can set it to the opposite side. That way it wraps itself around. So let's say, like in this case, if we wanted when we go left on this one, so our point is 50. So as you can see, if you go all the way to the left, it stops at 50. But let's say we wanted it to wrap itself around and pop back over here. Then we would just say that when it's less than 50, then it's going to equal the opposite side one. So we'll have it equal 430. So let's try this, and then if we wanted to do it on the right side, then we just put 50. That way it wraps itself around to the other side. So let's try this real quick. Alright, as you can see, it loaded up perfectly, and now it's wrapping itself. Same thing for the other way. Now, the same concept kind of goes for y's. And then this right here, it's saying if the speed is less than 0, then speed equals 0. That way you don't have negative values going in there. And then here's your event listener telling it that this is a wrap. We need to listen for this in case anything changes. So that's basically it. Well, thank you for watching the video.